Okay, so I want to ask you about recording drums. It's something we haven't got a chance to talk about yet on any of these tours, but we're set up here, and man, it looks like you have a lot of options.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do?
So, recording drums, it can come out in so many different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's some people that pride themselves on a one mic setup,
right,
and get great results.
Yeah.
The old Glenn Johns technique is three mics, the over, the side, and then a kick kind of thing, and produces very, very great results.
Which
and great
I read
records.
his book, by the way, and he said that he doesn't even he doesn't even use it. He said at the time I only had 3 mics.
Okay.
But we all talk about it.
But it works, and there's lots of countless records that sound fantastic and done in that manner.
Yeah.
Then there's times when there's a heap of mics, and every little aspect of everything is being recorded, and every ambience of the room, and on and on and on. I kind of use something that's kind of in the middle.
Okay.
I don't use a boatload of mics, but I'm not a minimalist.
Yeah.
So, and it's just from experimenting what works, what doesn't. Sometimes it's like you don't need 5 mics on a kick drum. You know what I mean? So I only use 2. I use one that's inside, and I use something outside as well, called a sub kick mic.
Okay.
So
is this your inside, the RE20?
Yeah. So
cool.
I have flavors of the week. Sometimes it's 4221, sometimes it's D112, sometimes an RE20. It's whatever, right?
I'd really like to try that. I've never.
Oh, it's great.
What's the difference between that? The only one I own is a D112. But what's the difference between the two?
I find there's something a little more robust about the RE20 over the D112. D112 is still great.
Yeah.
It's still a great mic. Cool. And there's the old school D12 as well. Yeah. I don't know. There's just something about the mic that I just find it just a little bit more full right off the get-go in the D112. I don't know.
Yeah, I got to try it.
But it helps when you're going through a Neve 1073 as well. So
everything does,
Yeah, so...
Thanks for rubbing that in.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
And then a sub kick.
Yep.
And this looks pretty DIY.
Yeah, so it's from an NS10 monitor. And what you do is... you take the negative and positive leads of the speaker terminals, right? And then you take a male XLR,
right?
And you invert the positive and negative, and you connect them. So now it's taking in sound, because at the end of the day, a speaker and a microphone, they're both transducers, right? So now you've just turned it into a microphone. So instead of expelling sound, now it's taking it in, right? And so with the big diaphragm, it's taking in all of super, super low frequencies.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yamaha used to make them too, right?
They still do.
Do they?
But it's the same speaker. It's just in a very fancy box, and you're going to pay a lot of money for it.
Right. And the box doesn't do anything.
Not that I know of. I don't think it adds to the sonics, because it's great for just this right here. You know what I mean? So when you have your in, and it gets all the kind of the top end and the point and the snap of the kick drum, and then this kind of takes care of the body and the oomph. And when you just blend the two, man, you can get one hell of a kick drum sound with just 2 mics.
And whereabouts do you put that?
Right, just fairly close to the head. Just
Okay, cool.
Maybe right here.
And do you cover it up at all, or when you're?
Yeah. Like after everything's placed, then I'll kind of wrap it in a blanket.
Okay. Yeah. Does this pick up any spill or anything, or is it mostly low?
It's mostly just low.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of top end spill or anything that goes into that.
That's so cool.
As you can see, I have some PZMs taped in the back wall.
Oh, okay, cool.
So sometimes I like to capture those and play with those.
Those are just wired in.
Yep. But the real secret of the room is our loading dock. This hallway.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice. Can we take a look?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, man. So this is a real loading dock?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so anytime that we're recording drums, I always have mics at the end of the hallway. And as you can hear.
Oh, man.
So it has a bit of a reverberation.
That is so cool. So where do you put the mics? Do you guys want to come in here? One of you guys want to come in here?
So I'll stick them at the end of the hall and kind of up high, and then kind of facing the ceiling, because I want to be capturing reflections.
Okay. Oh, man.
And I can show you a sound clip later of what they do.
Yeah, I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you don't have them, you kind of take them away. You just got a nice, tight, controlled drum sound.
Right.
But then if you want to go full Bonham, you crank these mics, right? or you kind of just scale it back and you find like a really nice spot where it really lets the snare drum breathe. You know what I mean?
So what kind of mics, sorry, did you say that you put
I'll
in?
use like 414s
Okay.
in the hallway.
And two of them?
Two of them.
Okay,
yeah, space
cool.
pair.
And then you leave these doors open?
Always leave them open.
Oh,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
cool.
So
Was that designed with this in mind?
No,
or-
not at all. It was just a happy mistake. Yeah. So it's an old school trick.
Good for you. That's great.
Yeah, it's an old school thing.
I can totally hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally hear it. So as I was saying, we visited a bunch of places, and the one console I think we saw was being used just for monitoring, but not for mixing necessarily. But definitely haven't seen an SSL. So tell me about this board, where it came from, and what is it?
So it is an SSL. It's a 72 channel 8000 series.
Okay.
And they aren't they aren't too much different than a 4000. It just has an extra pan and pot, I believe, for 5.1 capabilities. Right. So other than that, it's all G series EQs, and it used to reside in Abbey Road Studios, Abbey Road Studio 3.
No way.
So
wow. When did it come here?
It came to Canada in 2009, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So
was it somewhere else before here?
Yeah. So just after it left Abbey Road, I was told that it went down to Costa Rica. So it was bundled up, and there was a studio that was supposed to be built down in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And long story short, that project never got off the ground. So it was just sitting in its crate, and somebody up here caught wind that it was just sitting there, and I think they just put in a lowball offer, and boom, they got it.
What was the learning process for you because you said you started at school, were you mostly in Pro Tools?
Yep.
And so where did you learn the SSL? And
it was also at Metalworks.
Okay.
So the neat thing about that place is they have 4, if you want to say student SSLs, but they're still a part of the studio as well. So
okay.
When you're going through all your labs and hands-on lessons and whatever, you're working on full-on SSLs, and a lot of times in a studio environment as well.
Okay.
So when I was there, it was countless days in front of an SSL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being tested on SSL signal flow, troubleshooting, all that kind of stuff, and they were very hardcore on etching into your head like how to zero it properly, and this and that and whatever.
Well, that's great. So this came from Abbey Road. What was recorded on this?
I don't have a full-on logbook, but I was told that Radiohead's "The Bends" was mixed on this board.
On this board,
part or most of it was.
That's incredible.
There's also videos on YouTube you can see of George Martin sitting at this console. So
wow.
he touched this vinyl right here.
So if it was in Studio 3, it's probably pretty easy just to find out what records were done in that.
Yeah.
And so you got 2 LA2As.
Yep.
This is I've said this at another studio before. This is my dream piece. This is what I'd love to sell my car or one of my kids and get one, but
they're fantastic.
2 of them,
and they're dead easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I like it.
They're so easy to use, and you get great results out of them.
Yeah. That's great.
Yep, they're fantastic. There was one time I had a guy. It was a bass player, and he had a 1966 LA2, and he said he handed me an XLR cable and he goes, just plug this in. This is my sound. And that was it. I just plugged it in.
Man.
And that's it. Because he had everything dialed in. The vintage LA2, vintage bass, great player. And I was like, yep, that's
and
it.
He travels
that's
with
it. Yeah, he travels with it. He's got it in his rack, with his tuner or whatever. And then he's got a vintage LA2. Anytime he shows up, there's my sound.
Probably handcuffed to him.
Yeah,
to himself.
exactly.